first vlog in nature. We need to come up with a name for this concept, by the way. Entrepreneur's walk. I don't know. The winning walk. So, something where I feel like I'm actually talking to someone watching rather than just having a pre-scripted video in my office, which, by the way, they're really helpful when they're really tactical. But this is, for me, this is me, ladies and gents, just walking in nature. And I often reflect and I write stuff on my phone. And by the way, sometimes we can get very technical and we can get very, look, I'm literally recording this video and I'm watching my phone on the side and it says new free chiropractic checkup, because we launched a campaign this week on reactivation campaign. Super helpful for patients who haven't been in for a long time. And again, this literally just popped up. It wasn't scripted. And this is the beauty of these walks. And I actually feel like I'll be much more transparent, less scripted, much raw. Yes, it's going to be messy, but sometimes we'll talk about things that I'm working on this particular week on the business. So you guys can see exactly like what's working well, what's not. So you better follow this channel. And sometimes I'll be in my office and we'll have the script to make sure that you guys understand the concept I'm trying to teach. But the aim is to create a community of clinic owners, nice people who want to just win together. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about this concept of how important is mindset in business. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately because one of my first mentors that I met at a time in my life where things were a little bit tougher, wasn't very financially successful at all, in fact. And I maybe played the victim mentality. Oh, I'm not good enough. I can't speak the language. I have a language barrier. For those of you who don't know me, I came in the UK when I was 15, 16 and didn't speak a word of English. So it took me a while to understand this concept of communication, shall we say. That's funny, by the way. Now I teach communication and leadership, and we work with a lot of clinics to scale and talk about systems and new patients and all this stuff, which is great. But I want these videos to be not just me showing off how much we've achieved in the last 20 years in my life, but how much it's possible if someone like myself can come from Eastern Europe, not speak the language, have a pretty like, oh, but you know, I don't speak the language, feeling sorry for myself attitude, to running a successful 7-figure practice with an online business that now helps over 50 clinics do the same. So big goals, big mission. But anyways, this mentor of mine said back in the days, and when I say mentor, that is not necessarily someone who I've always paid to teach me stuff. It could be, you know, last year alone, we probably invested close to £75,000 just on mentorship and masterminds for my own self and the business. But a mentor could be someone that I studied. It could be a book I read. It could be the neighbor that helped me, I don't know, with the first few words in English, what that meant and what, like, how to say stuff. So mentors don't always have to come in this transactional format. But this guy said to me, Stefan, you can feel sorry for yourself. And we're sat in the room at the time. He said, please have a look around the room. Look at the surroundings you're in. And I look at the room and let's say use this for example. And he says, look at this fence. Tell me something you don't like about this fence. And my OCD will kick in. I'll say, oh, there's 3 different panels that have 3 different colors and drives me mad. They're not necessarily level. One of them is a bit lower. The other one is a bit higher. And he said, okay, great. But tell me something now that you quite like, something nice about this. And I would say, yeah, the grass is pretty clean and cut. I love the natural bushes and how they're not necessarily like super perfect. I love this fence is quite fresh, so it means that it's being used, and so it's nice. And he said, exactly, what's the lesson here? And I'm like thinking, and I was definitely younger than 20. I don't exactly know what age. And he said to me, it's the same thing in life and it's the same thing in business. What you focus on in life is you would find. You would literally find the good label and the bad, again, another label, if you look for it. And it's the same in business. How many of you have gone into clinic on Monday morning expecting it that patients will complain, that it will be a slow shift, you wouldn't get new patients in the diary? We just have to sometimes stop with the victim mentality because life does not work like that. And I don't intend for these videos to be too philosophical. I don't think I'm the right person to teach stuff on philosophy and psychology. But you've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to understand that the beliefs you develop, the mindset you currently have, if you're not producing the results that you're after, it's probably because you're not good enough on focusing on the stuff with the right attitude. Is that difficult to hear? Probably. But if something is difficult to hear, it's probably true as well. So this is why I like walking and talking, because I have no script for this video, but I can speak from experience. And you can put me on the spot and I can talk for hours on a topic that I've lived and I've learned and I've struggled with and I've overcome and I found the path. And mindset is one of those things. So if you're a business owner who struggles, one of the first things I would suggest is invest in yourself first before you think about this, like, oh, let me just put more money into marketing, or it's my website that is the problem. It's not, it's often you, it's me, it's us that is the problem. That is why one of the biggest cheat codes for me personally in business is to put myself, and in life actually, and I gave this talk to a group of 75, 80 students last night. There was a lot of limiting beliefs, and I said to them, one of them asked me like, oh, what books would you advise reading about mindset? And I said, the books are great, and you've got to do the internal work, but there are things in life that have gone through the stress test. That typically means someone is exactly where you want to be, and they have the knowledge, the experience, and the formula. So go and model them, go and study them, go and ask questions, subscribe to their YouTube channel. Shameless plug. That's the point, is find, like, what is it you want? That's the hardest part. Once you know what you want, you then look for someone who has done that thing. And then one of the most important things is when you take action is to put yourself in a winning environment. What would happen if you're, let's say, a clinic owner, you've just hired your first CA, you've no idea how to hire an associate, you've no idea how to get your diary to numbers that mean that you have cash flow in the business, that you can reinvest in the company, you can help more patients, you're stressed out because you're worried about everything. What would happen if I say to you, but this guy was there 7 months ago, and now they have, for example, one of my private clients, I don't think you'll mind me mentioning here, Jake. When we started working with him, he was in the smaller premises. It was just him, no CAs. He just moved from Holland, and he was learning about business and the model and how to actually set up the company. Since then, another booking. See, it's been what, 7 minutes, and we've had 2 bookings. So guys, I cannot wait to grow this channel and share with the rest of the world how to build a freaking amazing, successful chiropractic clinic that helps lots and lots of patients, because chiropractic deserves it. Your patients deserve for you to have the best service. Anyways, Jake was, since then, we started working together last year. He's actually a good buddy of mine from university, and so amazing to watch him win. But he went from a smaller premises, he had to move to bigger premises. Before he moved to bigger premises, I showed him strategically how he absolutely has to hire a CA to start buying back his time and leverage her. Since then, he's had bigger premises. He now has 2 CAs. He's had an associate. He's built his associate diary to about 70, 80, 90 visits a week. And he's just hired a second one. He has a real business. He has an entity that when Jake goes on holiday, Jake does a lot of CPD, which he's amazing. He's a great guy. He's always developing himself, never comfortable with knowing what he knows, and always wants to like strive to be the best, which is amazing. But it also means that he cannot do it all. He needs to have like time away from the business, but he couldn't do that when he was the business. And I don't think you'll mind me saying that, but he didn't have a business. He had created himself a job inside his building. That's what separates Practice Peak members from the rest of, I don't know how it is the rest of the world, but here in the UK, there's a lot of messiness in chiropractic businesses because people do not treat it with respect. They're just very, very, very good practitioners, which is fine if you're an associate. It's really not great if you want to build a successful practice, because what people say is it's not ethical to have lots of patients and blah, blah, blah. But actually, I would completely disagree, and I'm happy to talk this even if it's publicly, is when you treat your practice as a system that produces great results for patients, and it mentors and it has internship programs and incentives for your team, everyone does an amazing job for the patients. So it doesn't just rely on you, it's your whole team that does an incredible job. So being busy, making lots of money is just an extension and a representation of how much value you create for society and in the marketplace. That is it. So we need to stop with this poor mindset mentality. We need to stop with this limiting belief system. Money is bad and I can't charge people, because this is your shit. This is your problems that you're dealing with. It's nothing to do with the patient. Be truth, be science-based, be evidence-based, be philosophically sound, but for God's sakes, they understand how business works. It's absolutely predictable how I can get someone to go from 10 patients a week to 50 to 100 to scale, to build their team, to build their systems, to build their SOPs. And it's just amazing to watch this. Selfishly, in my career so far in the last 12 years, this has probably given me the biggest level of personal fulfillment. Is helping other clinics win and help them help lots of patients. It has an amazing ripple effect. And this is why, naturally, I evolved from the associate position to being involved with the business, to opening the practice, to now doing the consulting and coaching while still having the practice, by the way. And this is just an example. If the Bulgarian who came to the UK, whatever it was, 20 years ago, did not speak a word of English, I wasn't the most academically gifted at all, I understood a few principles in life and in business and in psychology, was able to produce what I've produced. If I can do it, imagine what you guys can do. Don't work so hard all the time. What's more important is what you work on, how you work on things, and who you work with. And that's exactly where I think we're going to win even more the next 12 to 24 months with the Practice Speak Academy, Practice Speak Mastermind group, because people there get that and they're just leveraging my time, my knowledge, my expertise, my energy, and they're paying me not to make the same mistakes as I made, which have cost me thousands of thousands of thousands of thousands of pounds and a lot of time and energy invested. It's all there for them. So I absolutely love the community. I love masterminds. I love learning from others and just paying them and telling them to teach me everything they know, and then moving to the next level of my life and my development. So the question for today is, what are you guys working on? Do you even know what you want? And if you do, what's stopping you from getting there? That's it. Nothing to sell you. I only work with very selected few individuals who are a good fit for the group. So these are not sales pitch videos. These are just showing you examples of how amazing and incredible people can be if they have the right ingredients, the right mentorship, they've given the right time, and they've put in the right environment with like-minded people. So thank you guys for watching today. Put in the comments below if you like this style of video. If not, that's cool. I might make a few more. And if it doesn't actually create impact and it doesn't change people's behavior, then I'm going to stop. That's what we do in life. That's what we do in business. But if they do help, subscribe, share them, and tell me how else we can help you and what sort of challenges do you have in your business and where you're trying to get to. Thank you for watching, guys. Until the next walk in nature.